back to local news. Back to local news for now. Probably the biggest story, in my opinion, that happened over the break. That won't be a shock to anyone. Was the 12-year-old boy who was pulled up for wearing a gang patch. Let's just have a listen. This sort of explains it. So let's have a listen to this. It's about 2 minutes. We'll listen to about 2 minutes of it.
Claims of police misuse of the new gang patch law. One news has been told a 12-year-old was detained by police on Christmas Day while walking in his neighbourhood. Officers confiscated the boxing club T-shirt he was wearing, which bore an insignia related to Black Power. Simon Mercer has this exclusive story.
On Christmas Day, 12-year-old MK was walking up this Auckland street to invite a friend over for a hangi. On the way, he noticed ambulance and police on the other side of the road. MK says police noticed his T-shirt.
So they walked towards me and they said, "Do you know that you're not allowed to wear that?"
This is the shirt in question. The logo is like Black Power's, and around it, the words Kia Kaha Boxing Club.
They said, but it has that fist. So they said it was a patch. And I said, "No, it's my boxing uniform."
MK's family called a senior club member who came down and asked police what had happened.
They said he's been arrested and he's been charged with displaying gang insignia, and that's why they're taking the T-shirt.
MK didn't want to lose the shirt.
It was mine and I got it for Christmas.
There are several Kia Kaha boxing clubs around the country. This one is here inside the Black Power marae in Mount Wellington, and it's been located here since 1995. But this particular branch of the Kia Kaha Boxing Club is based here in this marae, which is associated with Black Power. So can you see why some people might think it's all one and the same?
I can understand that.
But he says the boxing club stands on its own feet. Kids and adults train here, have won their share of trophies, and compete across the country. Here's a club member wearing the shirt during a junior competition a few years ago. Have you ever noticed anyone scared of your T-shirt when you've worn it?
No.
Has anyone ever come up to you and said, "Oh, please don't wear that T-shirt"?
No.
Did police get it right on Christmas Day?
No. It's a 12-year-old child by himself running to his friend's house with nobody else around in his own neighbourhood where everybody knows him. You know, it wasn't the purpose of the law.
For this young boxer, the shirt is something to be proud of.
It's like the All Blacks, how they work hard and then they get their jersey and they can play.
But he says he won't wear it out again, fearing police will take it off him again.
Okay.
How sad is that?
On Christmas Day? Like, what the hell?
I know.
What was it, like, I'm trying to think, like, what were the cops doing? Like, why would they go do something better with your time?
I mean, they supposedly were. They were responding to a medical, I think, event across the road, and he was sort of like, "Oh, I wonder what's happening." But he's a kid.
Also, like, if you're responding to a medical thing, like, you've got better
good
priorities.
deal with that. I don't know.
Bloody hell.
Like, he is a kid. He looks like a kid, and if he's like on his own.
Also, like, take 2 seconds and use your eyes to read. It literally is so obvious that it's not a gang patch. Does that say Black Power? No, it doesn't. And it wouldn't say Mongrel Mob because it's the wrong colour. So, unless you're stupid.
What? No, I mean, they would know that, right? They have like a list, right? They're aware of what a gang patch is and which ones are gang patches and which ones are not, right?
I mean, all right, go start following around those Destiny Church guys. Go start following them around on Christmas.
Pretty sure they hang around in gangs and they're like 40-year-old men, not a 12-year-old kid.
They actually go around on like motorcycles wearing, you know, the same looking insignia. I think I know which one's going to look more like a gang. One little kid versus a bunch of grown men on motorcycles. I don't know. Like, bloody hell. Just...
I think will this child have a positive view of law enforcement going forward? I mean, he sounds pretty devastated by the whole thing. And I would be too. I mean, it's something that he's clearly proud of. It's something he's somewhat, I guess, earned in a way, you know, doing something which is positive for him. And
He's
Now he just
trying
doesn't
to
wanna win anymore.
literally just be another kid who's out there training, being focused and disciplined on a sport. And this is why these things like the patch bans and all of the policies they went and changed last year were always going to target our rangatahi. They were always going to target them. And I mean, it's hard enough when you're a young brown boy, especially, to already be worried about the cops, already potentially have, negative feelings towards them and maybe even be standoffish. And like, how is this going to help that relationship? How is this going to help any young Maori or any young kid even feel like they're safe when they know that they could just get targeted because, like, yes, it is supposed to look like a gang patch. Because guess what? Humans are social creatures and we tend to go around in gangs. Whether it be a gang that sells drugs, whether it be a gang of people who go and play board games, like that's just what we do. And we also like to have things that show that we belong to something. That is something that helps us psychologically feel like we belong. It helps us have a sense of identity, be able to share that with others, be proud of that identity. And to then just go and make it a blanket like law that's just going to target people who are trying to do good things and feel a sense of community is just such a waste of time and police resources.
I think I found a gang patch. It's like it's a drawing, or it's like a logo in a circle, and it feels kind of gang patchy to me. I want to see what you think. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a gang. That's a straight up gang.
An image in a circle with some text. Oh, I don't know. It's feeling pretty gang patch to me. Oh, yeah, it's getting pretty close. I don't know. I come from a design background. The design that he's wearing is pretty common when it comes to text and image, basically. Text and image and something that's recognizable. It is a very common way of displaying something like that, a logo like that. So we got to figure out which ones are the gang patches and which ones are not. And just because it looks like a gang patch doesn't mean that it is.
And just like Kiwi Burb said here for $2, thanks Act for Dumb on Crime legislation. Because yeah, it is. It is dumb on crime. That is a perfect way to put it. And also Mr. Arvids for $5 missed out on a hangi. Now that's criminal. FTP. And you know what? I agree. Wholeheartedly.
Bloody man. On Christmas. Oh.
I know, and that's the other thing too. It's like really on Christmas, like of all the and also small quick rant, right? Last year when I went to the beach on Christmas, right? Me being the law-abiding citizen I hid my alcohol into a different vessel to make sure that it didn't look like I was drinking in public. I got to the beach, and there was just people with boxes open on the beach drinking, actually breaking the law on Christmas. Where were the police then? But no, they'll just go after some kid who's wearing a t-shirt. Like, that's just dumb.
They're just having a good time on the beach. They couldn't be possibly breaking the law.
Right? It's not like drinking in the sun is actually quite dangerous, especially when you're near a large body of water.
Yeah. I don't recommend that.
But no, that t-shirt was dangerous.